Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Mastering Katalyst with all of us here. Excited that you guys joined, signed up, and wanted to really just learn a little bit more about Katalyst, get some pro tips, some guidance from our side. I'll just kick it off and go through a little bit about the basics and kind of what to expect during this hour, and then I will kick it off to Max. But anyways, this will be
Sounds good.
roughly an hour. We will try and get through this as quickly as possible and also be able to save a lot of time for questions. We highly encourage you to ask questions all the way throughout. Just plop them into the chat function below. And we're here to answer them. So we will bring questions up live throughout the webinar and really make sure we cover them towards the end. And we do have quite a few team members from our side on the line. So we have Isabel and Michael and Josie, and they will be here in the chat helping us out. So if you see them in there, they're from our side. Also, a quick note, if you have any questions that are a little bit more personal, kind of suit sizing or fit or anything like that, drop them in, but there's also an opportunity to set a one-on-one session with our care team. So you can do it at any time. You just email us at support@katalyst.com and our team will be able to set up a kind of a personal one-on-one Zoom session with you to go through that. So something to keep in mind. And then, like I mentioned, it is recorded, the whole webinar. We will share it afterwards. We'll share the deck, the slides, the recording. So if you have to drop off, we totally understand, but you will get this afterwards. And then one last thing, we do have, we're going to be asking questions throughout, kind of through a poll function in this webinar. Just if you see something pop up, that's sort of what it is. But I think that's it. And I'll just hand it over to Max and he'll get into the fun part.
Awesome. Thank you, Val. Yeah, good morning and hello, everyone. Also from my side, I'm Max, the head trainer. I'm originally from Berlin, Germany, doing full body MS training as personal trainer, and me personally since 15 years over in Germany, and now quite for a bit in the States since 8 years. Right now, you will find me in Las Vegas. And yeah, I'm happy to host you today and to get you a little more familiar with your Katalyst suit and your entire system and how to operate it and how to use it, and give you a couple pro tips about the entire app and your suit. So a little guidance here for today, a little agenda. So the guided series is, especially Michael and myself, recorded for you to get you the perfect kickoff into your Katalyst journey. We go through that. And of course, big question, what are all those different four modes between strength, power, cardio, and recovery? And then also like talking about the levels, what do those mean, level 1 to level 4? And then the workout intensities, very important one to make your journey successful. And then I navigate you through the entire app, like how to make the best out of your workout. And then you see the suit behind me hanging here. So we're running through like a quick, fast setup. That means I'm actually standing up then and show you how I'm personally getting into the suit the quickest. We're just pretending I'm wearing the space layer and the suit is wet already, of course, and show you also how to wet a pad. Ideally, that's why you see the other window here next to me with my little arm strap. And then, yeah, the content, we talk about the content more, what to expect. And we have to announce a couple of nice things. And then, as Val mentioned, then afterwards we have some time for more Q&A. And please don't hesitate. The team is here for any questions you have, guys, about the system, the suit, the app, how to use it. Feel free to chime in there. Let's get started. Our guided series, guys. As you're familiar with the Katalyst app and already hopefully created your account, or you have been already in your suit, on top of the screen in our application, in the app, you will find a 6-week build your habit program. That means we have entire 6 weeks and full 12 workouts in the mixture between Michael and myself to give you the right kickoff into your Katalyst journey. We explain everything very slowly, easy movements to make it a habit and find your rhythm. And why twice a week? Because we know that this is the right cadence, because we always highly recommend between the strength and power mode, but we get coming towards the modes afterwards or later. Keep enough rest between if the intensity is right. So we guide you through your first 6 weeks to make it a habit, and Katalyst becomes your new fitness tool to reach your goals. And then pretty new, we have the beginner and intro program. It's a little bit shorter, like a beginner intro program or an advanced version. So beginner and intro, the intensity is pretty much the same, but a little bit more challenging exercises. So go through those if you need some guidance, and then afterwards you're often running into the app and can choose more specific workouts every week. Good. Running to the next one. Let's talk about the modes. Favorite topic. So the mode, we have 4 modes. If you scroll all the way down, you will find every section almost like built like Netflix: a strength mode, a power mode, a cardio mode, and the recovery mode. Here's explained. I'm not going through all those points because you're getting the presentation recording afterwards anyways, just roughly. So the strength and the power mode are mostly for strong muscles and endurance and some speed characteristics. And specifically the strength one, it's a little bit more static movement. As you can see here, in the 4 seconds on, 4 seconds off over the entire 20 or 10-minute workouts, and just building a nice deep muscle contraction, which is then creating your resistance. So the deep muscle contraction is building the resistance and really is providing you a hard strength workout. If the intensities are right, we're coming later towards that topic. And the power mode, it's a little bit higher frequency to specifically trigger and target those fast twitch muscle fibers. If you have never heard about it, our body has mostly 2 type of muscle fibers: the slow twitch muscle fibers, more endurance and a little bit leaner. And then the power one is triggering more the fast twitch muscle fibers, less endurance, a little bit bulkier, but for speed characteristics. Nevertheless, of course, it helps you for your hobbies, whatever you do. You run, you cycle, you play pickleball, or whatever you do. It can support your performance up there. But if you're saying, Max, I'm not that sports guy anymore, that's fine too. Because after the age of 35, we are losing most of the fast twitch muscle fibers. They're also helping us to hold the position if we fall or trigger or fall or something in the winter. So jump in there as well, even if you're not that sports person. And then the cardio modes. So we talked about keeping, you see on the bottom, like keeping 48 hours between the strength and the power mode workouts to recover well, because they're very intense. And as always, we have a full body workout. That means give yourself enough recovery time. That's very important. So it comes down to 1 or 3 time maximum using the strength or the power mode workouts during a week. And then coming to the cardio and recovery mode, guys. So a lower frequency, it's more a twitching sensation. So a pulsing sensation over the entire body, which is amplifying every single movement in the cardio mode, whatever we do. Like just marching, if you want to be more gentle towards your joints, that's totally fine. But get also very beneficial cardio and endurance class out of it. And then the recovery mode, it's even a lower frequency. It's more like literally a pulsing sensation in the second mode, or like in a second rhythm, where we want to improve the blood flow and flush out lactic acid, so to recover well, faster. Not even after a Katalyst workout, even after your hobbies. We are coming later towards a golf example. So after your hobbies, if you're a little stiff or sore from your activities or hike or whatever you do, maybe just jump into a suit and use the recovery mode to recover a little bit faster. All right. And that's what I just talked about. So we get quite often the answer, or like the question of like, how do I use my Katalyst suit? And here are 2 variations: more the beginner one on the left side, and more the advanced one if you really want to get the most out of a suit on the right side. So day 1 to day 7, here's just reflecting a full week. So let's kick it off with a power workouts in the power mode, and then maybe add after the power workout just a 5-minute recovery session right after to loosen up your muscle tissue. Day 2, maybe on Tuesday, just jump into a 20-minute intense cardio workout as an active recovery, as we said earlier. So we're not causing a full muscle contraction. So the cardio and the recovery mode you can use whenever you want, right after the session or on your rest days or after your hobbies, whatever you do. You have some energy left, jump right into the cardio mode. And of course, the recovery mode is important too. Then keep enough rest between those power and strength modes. Especially here, you see like 3 days between. Of course, we chimed in the little cardio workout here. But then on day 5, like the Friday, we're doing an intense strength workout, less dynamic, and adding a little 10-minute cardio afterwards to make it a full 30-minute workout. And then I give you the workout the weekend free. And then on the right side, the more advanced one, but it also depends on what kind of levels you're working out, guys. You can almost compare it like in the gym with the weight, right? If you're still very sore and feel still very, very stiff, of course, then maybe give yourself a little bit longer recovery time. But here's an example on Monday. Then the next one, you're keeping 2 days between with that cardio mode on Tuesday. And then a Wednesday is off. Thursday, we're jumping back into a strength mode. And then we're coming then to towards the weekend, another rest day, recovery session. Even use the full system just for your recovery session. It's so beneficial, trust me, guys. And then on Sunday, we're jumping back in for a powerful, more dynamic workout in the power mode with a 10-minute recovery. So that's, if you want to fill out the entire week with Katalyst, you absolutely can do it if the recovery time is enough and you feel well. And that's also what we preach, to stay very hydrated, guys. Let's jump into the next one. There's a more specific example about golfers. You can pick any specific hobby you fell in love with. Here's just a golfing example for me. It's always kicking our week off again with a strength workout to really stabilize the core and your swing. We have a couple golfers in the suit already on the PGA Tour, or some long drivers out there, and seeing huge results with the Katalyst suit. And then also the rotational power, right? And stability is very important. So we, of course, we want to use a power workout to benefit your swing speed. If it's pickleball, badminton, tennis, it can benefit you as well, of course. But keep that rest between those workouts again, and especially then on Sunday, if we want to hit those 18 holes of a round, that you're not getting too stiff, right, before you're jumping on the golf course. So try to split it up well and be prepared. Me, as an old soccer player, I would have never jumped into a suit on Friday or Saturday if I would have Sunday, like a game, a soccer game, that I'm not feeling too stiff and too dense. So that means I give myself enough recovery time to loosen up, maybe with a nice cardio mode. That's just an example here. And you can replace your hobbies, whatever you would, whatever you love. All right, let's jump into the next one. Levels and workout intensities. Very important, guys. Our levels. So levels is just explaining, I'm slowed down a little bit. Levels is just explaining the complexity of our movement, not the intensity of the impulse. Very important. So that means on level 1, as you can see here, we have very simple static exercises you might know out of the gym, like with a fly or bicep curl or a half of a squat. So super simple movements everyone can do, even when you have some problems with your lower back or knee issues, some hip issues, shoulder issues. That's the beautiful thing with Katalyst, right? We don't have any external load or strain. That means no weights, no rubber bands. So your muscles work against each other, and that's how we create that resistance. So that's level 1. Start there. And then level 2, it gets a little bit complexer. All right, that means we are maybe combining one or the other exercise, like a lower body one with a bicep curl, but it's not getting too tricky at the beginning, not too challenging. So I want you to incorporate, please, like some level 2 and level 3. Don't wait too long, right? If there's any exercise specifically you can't follow me or Michael, for example, or the other trainers out there, then you just skip that one or moderate, like do a digression or like progression even, if you need it a little bit more spicy. But that's very important for us. The levels just mean the complexity of the exercise and not the intensity we are adjusting on our iPads on your end as well. Now, let's come to the intensities. That's the most important part here for Katalyst, or for us guys, to reach our goals, wherever you purchased your suit and whatever fitness journey you were on. It's very important to have a good starting intensity. What does that mean? Especially for the strength and power mode. As I mentioned earlier before, we want to cause a deep muscle contraction. So how we create resistance in general, explaining here in EMS or full body EMS. The agonist and antagonist, big terms here. Easiest example, bicep and tricep. If they both contract at the same time, the flexor and the extender of the arm, They both get contracted at the same time. They work against each other. That means they're rope pulling almost against each other. So a normal bicep curl with nothing in your hands feels super difficult. It should be. And the tingling, specifically for the arms, the tingling could go all the way into the fingertips because the nervous system is running on the inside. That's totally normal. And that's also the reason why we even can strengthen our grip and the forearms. But that's just as a side fact. So when you start your Catalyst journey, guys, and you have chosen your gender, we have some preset of intensities, as you can see here, as a starting intensity. So for males, for our men, around 82, and for females, around 57. Nevertheless, that's just the master intensity, that little number in the middle of the screen you can see here on the iPhone, that 87. But we have, of course, as you can see, all major muscle groups, right, have individual or should have individual intensity adjustments. That means we want a pretty even sensation over the entire suit. If you want to pay more focus on your core because you have some lower back issues, put a little bit more on your lower back on the core. That means the abs, for example, and the glutes, right? In general, this being said, the major muscle groups, like the bigger muscle groups, such as the legs, the glutes, the abs, might need a little bit more intensity than the arms or chest parts because those are bigger muscle groups, just as a little guidance here. So, and the starting intensity also important, guys. When you adjust that or feel that, we slowly ramping you up in every single mode towards your starting intensity over the first minute. That means we're slowly ramping you up from 4 seconds on and on and on until we would reach that, for example, here, that 87, or in our example, like the 82 or 57. So that's that part. And most importantly, because if you never reached over 100, you might have thought like, oh yeah, I'm getting close to 100. That's already very intense and good. But our intensity range, as you can see on the left side here, is reaching from 0 to 480. So we have a huge range to make the entire incline of that impulse and the ramping up way more smoother. So if you want a little increase, give it a couple taps, not just once or twice. So 1 or 2 points might not make a big difference, maybe 5 or 10 times if you really want to make a difference. So you have time and can fully individualize with that huge of a range. And that's a big benefit also compared to other EMS providers. All right, let's jump into the next one. And now let's come to the interface. So here's just the example of an iPhone. If you didn't know that, so of course we are on iPad and iPhone. And here's the example of like, the overall intensity decrease. So we have the minus and plus button on the left and right side, right? So in the middle, as I just mentioned, that's your master intensity. Here in that case, it will be 169. That's a pretty good intensity already. And if you ever feel like, oh, guys, like the trainers, my intensity overall, my entire suit is pretty heavy right now. Just tap it in those 4 seconds of a rest time or in the cardio mode. Just decrease the intensity whenever you need to. So even when we are increasing your intensity, guys, you're always under control. Just tap that button and the entire suit will decrease. So then on the left side of your master intensity, what's highlighted right now, we call it the fine tune button or the equalizer with the 3 little lines. Just tap that one, and then you will see all major muscle groups are popping up and coming up. So that's also the right time, especially we trainers talk about this in the first minute and the second minute, specifically when we talk about fine tuning or setup time. So how do we feel today? Did you hydrate well? You slept well? Was a stressful day? And maybe the sensation feels a little bit different today, or you feel pretty energized and really good. So here's the right time to maybe just, as highlighted here, just increase the quads because you were choosing a lower body focused workout. Just highlight that and tap the plus button on the right side to give it just a little bit more on the quads. And of course, you can do that the same way with all the other major muscle groups as well. On the right side of our master intensity, you will find 2 icons, a vest icon and then also the shorts icon. This is saving us some time. As I mentioned, just as an example, the lower body focus movement, for example, or in this case now here, a better example will be the upper body focus movements or like exercise workout. So you can highlight the entire vest. And you know what? Give me a little bit more overall the entire vest. So you can highlight that you don't have to click and tap all the individual muscle groups and highlight just the vest, just the shorts, and maybe just the arms by just hitting the arms. So it saves you some time and gives you a quicker increase during those 4 seconds of a rest time. So very important. If you don't feel like a muscle group today, for example, I don't know, you were tearing your hamstring or something, hopefully not, but or you're very sore in specific muscle group, even before you jump into one of those workouts, because you're always checking your conductivity, you can mute a channel. That means we can deactivate a channel. As you can see here, as an example, the hamstring is highlighted. How are we doing this? You just tap that and hold that for about 2 to 4 seconds, and you will see it graze out and cross the line over it. And of course, you should not feel that sensation or the impulse on that specific muscle group. You can always activate it again by doing the same process. Just hold it, just ramp it up, or just bring up the entire major muscle groups. Tap it again, hold that hamstring, and it will light up again. And then, of course, the impulse comes back into that specific muscle group. That's just as a little note here. Great. And then, guys, so one of the most innovative features for Katalyst here, compared to other fitness brands out there, we can challenge yourself as a trainer. As you saw us maybe, or if you fully new, just expect that. You will see that little graph on the bottom of the screen. And of course, we as trainers have an iPad on our end as well. Always when we reach over towards our iPad and tap that, your intensity at home is also increasing. That means the resistance gets higher. We make it a little more challenging, more effective. So that's what you see with the little graph. Every single stair of that little graph means an increase. So you can have a little expectations management, how intense it will get today. No matter what, if you're saying, guys, my 114 in that example here is totally enough for me today, or at least like for the half time here after 9 minutes or after 11 minutes, I don't want to follow that trainer anymore. So I don't want to increase my intensity automatically. Just hit that little button next to the master intensity. That's our unfollow button with a little arrow. And you unfollow that trainer. As you can see as an example here on the screen, the red line will be just straight and it's not climbing up again. But the same as with our muted or deactivated muscle groups, guys, you can always jump back in right into following the trainer, saying like, hey, okay, I stay unfollowed for the next 5 minutes. And then for the next 2 minutes, let's challenge ourselves a little bit more. Again, you just hit that button again to highlight it. And then you will see the red line is increasing from there where you are. So we're not jumping all the way up. All right. Challenge yourself, guys. Good. And then, as I mentioned before, guys, we are on 2 different devices, the iPad and the iPhone, iOS only so far. On the iPhone, the beautiful feature that's not regarding or not on our shoulders, on Katalyst shoulders, that's more on Apple. So if you're using the Katalyst app on your iPhone, guys, you actually can use, if you have one around your wrist, the Apple Watch. So the Katalyst app on there would automatically start if you have the Apple Watch already downloaded, or like the app on the Apple Watch. Download it, and we can increase and decrease also the intensity. That means you don't even have to reach over towards your screen, towards your iPhone. That's beautiful, and you can swipe left and right for pausing and play the session. Whenever, I don't know if you get a phone call or the kids are chiming in, that you can pause that session and start it again. And then if you swipe it all the way to the right, especially for the cardio mode and the power mode workouts, if you want to stay in a specific zone, for example, if you have more specific goals for your endurance and stamina, you can see the entire heart rate, such as on Michael's wrist here on that photo, on that 120 of a heart rate. So you can see it over there. And then for the at-home sessions, guys, make it a little bit nicer, right? So you can, if you have an Apple TV or like a smart TV, which has the functionality of like just screen mirror your Apple device towards your TV. So the trainer, as you can see here, teal, becomes a little bit bigger and a little bit nicer. So we're standing with you in your living room or hotel room, wherever you are right now. And then also the device, no matter what, the iPhone or the iPad becomes just your remote, as you can see here with the iPad. So all the buttons become a little bit bigger, so easier to control, the plus and minus button. And then as you can see also on the top, you can mute the trainer if you listen to the music in the background. But of course, we highly recommend to listen to the trainer to get better performance out of it and introduction when you start with Katalyst. Good. Coming to pairing the Impulse Pack, guys. So the Impulse Pack, our brain of the operation, especially when you're new to Katalyst, guys, and you want to pair your Impulse Pack towards your iPhone or iPad or an additional device of like you have been paired already to your iPad, but now you're on travel and just want to pair it and download it towards your iPhone, how we are doing this. So just make sure, of course, that the Bluetooth is turned on. That's the first step. And then open the Katalyst app on your device, iPad or iPhone. And then as you can see here and read it down here. So we want to hold that button of the impulse pack a little bit longer. If you take a look now at me, I have an impulse pack here. So I just hold that button. It starts flashing slowly and I keep pressing it until it's flashing quickly and I release. And when you see that flashing, we are in pairing mode. That means the app will already ask you in the like almost the last screen here to pair towards that device, but that procedure you just have to do once per device, right? And afterwards, just turn it on, release if it's slowly blinking, and then you will see if it's connected or not on top of the corner on the right side, and how much juice is on there, how much battery is still on the input pack left. Pretty easy. Two settings, just turn it on or keep it a little bit longer, press down for 6 to 8 seconds in pairing mode, and those are the two only settings you have. All right, coming to the fast setup of the suit, guys. So we're starting, I show you now on the other camera. So I turn my camera off here and we highlight my little arm strap there. It's always a big question of people, guys, what is enough water? How much water do I actually need? And do I need my spray bottle or not? I will show you how to get into the suit as well. And our setup, of course, you're getting used to any other processes as well as you do it more often. So us personally as trainers and internal here at Katalyst, we are most likely into the suit by 3 to 7 minutes, pretty quick. So hurry up, I will show you how to get in there the easiest, and then also how to spray the pads efficiently. More water is better in general. And we do it right now. So I'm just turning off my camera here and then take a look on that arm strap. So of course you have that spray bottle here. Ideally, we highly recommend to use hot to warm water to make it a little bit more comfortable for yourself. So we just pump it up, give it like 10 to 15 until you hear that ice squeaking and it gets difficult. And then we take a look. We want to inject the water into the pad. That means it's way more efficient if you would keep like a little distance and make it a little messier, but inject it and then we just keep spraying in a zigzag move. Zigzag up and down 2 or 3 times, and then normally I keep framing it, the entire pad. And what is enough water on that? So if you keep tapping, you know, and you see that puddle of a water on there, that's plenty enough of water. Ideally, you don't want to forget any corners, all right? And then you just want to be a little bit faster for the other ones because the pad, you know, you're getting used to that process. You can be quick and just frame it and then go to the next one. So I'm mostly in 2 or 3 minutes done with the entire wetting of the suit. Beautiful.
Max, I might jump in and ask you a couple of questions while you're on
Please.
the wetting
Of course.
side. Let me pin you back so we can see it. There we go. So lots of question about wetting and what's the best way and whatnot. So maybe you can speak to a little bit. Some feedback in the comments where I actually shower in my base layer. I get my base layer wet and then I put on the suit where I kind of do a combo. And why do we recommend wetting the suit versus maybe other approaches? Maybe you can kind of speak to what we recommend, but also what works as an alternative potentially if you don't have the spray bottle with you
for sure.
For traveling.
Sounds great. So ideally, like the scenario, why we recommended wetting the pads. So it is a sponge material underneath, right? Why we're wearing the base layer normally underneath? It has a tensile fiber. So it's an eucalyptus, like a special garment. It does the opposite of our Nike Lululemon gear. So we don't want to transfer the moisture and the sweat out. We actually want to absorb the moisture to give you better connectivity and better transfer of the impulse into your muscle through your nervous system. So this being said, if we wet down that pad, and while we're getting really compressed and build that compression, it soaks into the base there the right amount on the specific group where our pads are sitting. So that's why we highly recommend to wet the suit and the arm straps and maybe not the base layer, because the base layer is just very thin. It would work, of course. Yes, you guys might find a good connectivity as well. It's easier for you. But of course, I'm also a big fan. You see my towel underneath here. It depends where you're working out, on the patio, on balcony, or maybe inside, you know, on the kitchen counter, wherever you prep your suit. it's a little bit less messy for me of like if I'm, observing the pads and just spray that in instead of like go fully into the shower with my base layer or the entire suit. But of course, it will work, guys. Whatever works for you. More moisture is better. And we want to provide enough water to give you the perfect sensation, impulse sensation right from minute one. And that's why we don't have a dry suit. So there are a couple other EMS providers out there that have a dry suit. Sounds really good until you jump into a suit. And then when it comes into the game, like body lotion or like body hair. So they want to make you sweat. And then it also depends, are you a sweater or not really? So over the first 5 to 10 minutes, it could feel very stingy and not really comfortable. And that's why we still highly recommend to use enough water and you can focus on your workout. On travel, me personally, of course, I know the spray bottle is really bulky. Me personally, I just take a squeezing bottle, for example, a Camelback bottle, and just fill it up in the hotel room, place it on the floor on a towel, and just squeeze it in with that bottle, and just tap in that water into those pads, and that's very that's way more easier on the travel if you don't want to carry everything with you. I hope that answers. Yes. So the stinginess, I just saw it here really quick. So more water means less stingy. Yes. So the stinginess has two causes. It's one, not enough water. So you just miss the spot. As I said, like push it down if there's a full puddle of water on there, and you find your way to make it not that messy. What is enough water? And then compression, especially us guys, we're not used to a lot of compression, like almost like a corset. So it's very important that you tighten all those side straps, especially on the vest. But I'm showing it just in a second to you guys how to do it the most efficient way. Tighten it all the way down. Of course, you should be able to breathe, but compression and water is king to have the smoothest experience. All right. All right, guys, then I will just show you, jump into my suit. Of course, we try to pretend now the suit is wetted already, which is not today behind me, and I'm wearing the base layer. And I show you just how to go into that entire suit. Later, I show you also like how to watch that on your app, guys. There's a full instruction menu, like with Michael, he's guiding you through all those steps. You can even watch on your couch, like how to do it before you jump into the suit again. So you don't have to remember all those steps, but I just show it how quickly it could be done to build you the best, the best compression, the best fit, and the best placement of the pads. Let's get into the suit, guys. So that's my suit over here. Important before we start, make sure all those side straps are open. That's the easiest way. All right, jump into the vest first when you just have it wetted, and then we closing the zipper. Again, all those side straps should be open to make it easier for you. So after workout, we want to pull it down, that those shoulders sit down as much as possible. The same way, then we're finding our belt. It's a little bit low, like a low waist jeans. So around those hip bones, not too high. I know that's what we're used to with our jeans and pants, but a little bit lower. And then we need a lot of compression. So we just wrap it around our hip already with the Velcro. All right, that's really snug and tight on your glutes. And then we secure it. That's just the security part. And then just the side strap. Before we start with the vest, we go into the shorts. Grab between your legs. And then we start with the top one. Just buckle it up. Again, keep that strap open. If that's too short or still buckled in, on the Velcro, you might like, I'm not even reaching it. Open it, lift it, and just lengthen it. And then from the suit, from the fit, we want it pretty centered. That means you're rotating that cuff outside, that the entire pad is centered, holding it with one hand, pull it forward, place it on the Velcro, and then place it on the Velcro. Some of you might see a little bit less space to actually reach that Velcro, or some of you see a lot way further because they have a tight range. So that's why you send us all your body measurements to get the perfect compression, guys. And then you just repeat on the other side a little bit quicker. Rotate it out, hold it in place, and just tighten it. And then we come into the vest. That's about the cuff. So make it pretty even from the compression sensation. And then the vest again. Pull it down, that the zipper is pretty centered. And we started with a side strap. All right. Ideally, I always use the thumb for the D-rings. And we, at the same time, we're pulling it forward to build a nice compression. And then we work our way all the way up. Always start from the bottom of the vest, that we keep it low and the pads are on a perfect space. And then the last one is a little bit trickier. The easiest one, don't raise up your elbows, keep it a little bit lower, and then you find them way easier. And then stinginess, very important, guys, that you don't forget those shoulder straps, all right? Especially for the chest part and the upper back, very important. So you can use one hand even to build it down, to putting it down, that the bulk is folding nicely forward. If you have some issues with that fit, you just do it one by one. That's totally fine, all right? You can do it again. Just lift it up, just underneath of that strap. Just pull it down. And while you're pulling, place it nicely on that Velcro that those two snaps are free. And then do the same thing on the other side and pull down. You say, nope, I don't have any problems. I want to be faster. Just grab those, pull it forward, and then place it in a V shape on those Velcros. That's about the suit. And then coming to the arm straps, guys. Coming to the arm straps here. Nothing falling down. So the easiest way is to create a loop already. So going through that little hole here, the loop, and building a little loop already, and just place it on the Velcro, all right? So we have a wider one. And then it's important, it's ease of use, okay? So that strap, which we just connected, that strap is showing outside. What does it mean? For that arm, it shows outside, and then for the other arm, it should go all the way towards the other side. It's just easier to build some compression. Then we go through, place it a little bit on the center of your arm, on the bicep, of course, yeah. If you want to work more on your grip strength, lower it a little bit, or the shoulder a little bit higher, all right? But of course, we want to see those two metal snaps here that we can connect those then later to our vest. And on the inside, right here, what I mentioned earlier in that call here, where the nervous system's running on the inside. So we want to keep a gap on the inside of your arm. So, and then you just pull it towards you, all right? Not already around, so we're not pinching ourselves or the base there, just towards you, and then slowly wrapping it around so that you keep those two snaps free and open. And that's pretty much it, guys. So and you just repeat it on the other side, and we are nice and compressed. During the session, if you feel like, oh, somewhere is loosening, just grab those side straps and just pull it forward to give you the best compression. That's pretty much it. How to get out of the suit? Also a great question. Of course, I'm taking off that entire technology first. That means those arm cables, I take off, and then the impulse pack and put it back into the case. And then we're coming towards the suit. I know we are exhausting after those sessions, but try to open all those straps to prep the next session already. So I'm just grabbing those, open them really quickly, get out of there, loosen it so you can breathe easier. And then the arm straps, just unbuckle them and place them on that Velcro of the chest to let them hang and dry. That's my easiest pro tip here. And then the same way with the belt, just extend a little bit. And then the same, guys, as I just mentioned before, just loosen it up. And then we buckle, and the same on the other side. And we are out in less than 30 seconds. And then just unzip and then hang it. Hang, longevity of the suit, guys. So we are coming towards that as well. Longevity. How should I do it afterwards? Ideally, what I do, especially when I'm traveling a lot, inside out. So reveal all those pads for an easier drying or faster drying. So normally when I take a shower in a hotel and I'm ready to head over to the airport or something, so in 30 seconds, this guy is already dry. So all those pads, the soft shell is dry. And then you just put it into a little zip bag and into a carry-on and you're good to go. But of course, you can do the same at home as well to make it a little more efficient of drying process. That's about it. How to get the fastest into the suit. So compression of water is very important for us guys, that you get the best sensation out of it and the most benefit of the impulse from the EMS training.
Max, while we're still in this section, maybe I'll load a couple questions as well, and then the ones that we haven't answered we'll do kind of towards the end. Great question from, let's see, from Zoo, if I pronounced that correctly or incorrectly, I'm sorry, but how come you guys don't have pads for the calves? Any plans to? And I think that's a really good question to answer.
It's a great question, Zoo. So the calves are very fine motoric. That means like from a tingling sensation to a cramp, it's a high sensation. That means we want to provide the safest EMS device out there because it's an at-home device. So if you wrap something around there, so to control it from a little tingle to actual muscle contraction, that you're not falling over. That means if we would cause like a cramp or deep muscle contraction, so that's the last muscle you actually can hold the balance with. So that's what we're integrating in every single lower body workout, some heel raises, which is absolutely enough to train your calves efficiently. And then the same for the forearms. Just to add that on, as I mentioned earlier, guys, if you have the sensation of the tingling goes all the way into the fingertips, even when it's weird at the beginning, but that means you are on a good path of a good intensity for your arms. As I mentioned, it goes all the way through the inside, the nervous system. That means you should feel like it's tighten almost in your fists. We keep talking about like keep the open palms if you want to strengthen your forearms or keep them tight together, especially for my ladies with the longer nails. So grab those hands into each other. It's a little pro tip too, because those hands can get tight. And that's also the reason why we're strengthening the forearms without any straps around the forearm. I hope that makes sense.
That was great. And then one more before we kind of continue.
Sure.
You probably demoed it, but maybe it's good for reinforcement of from
Mm-hmm.
Juan. What is the proper and recommended orientation from the armbands? Because obviously there's a few different ways. I know you covered it, but maybe it's a little bit of a double down on it.
Sure, I can show that again for sure, no problem. So what was the question again? Like the placement or
Yeah,
how
what's
to
the
get in there?
placement orientation of the armbands,
The
just to make sure
orientation.
you get yeah.
Cool. Yeah, easiest. So as I said, I highly recommend to do like a little loop here first. And just put the Velcro on so that you have like a wider arm strap. And then again, like literally like the strap shows towards the outside of that specific arm you're going through, because then you don't have the hands free and don't have to hold that strap in place, right? Very important to make it easier for you. And then you want to see those snaps, right? And the gap on the inside. So even when the gap is a little bit bigger for you, again, we have size ranges, right? So we have size ranges. You gained a little bit, but no worries, guys. Those pads are so big they trigger your bicep and tricep anyway. You might be familiar with some tenth units, such as power dot or something. So they're like just a coin big, and those would even trigger the entire quad just with that big of an pad. So now we have this big pad all over your abs and arms. So we trigger those anyway. Don't worry if they're not covering fully. Of course, you can always turn them a little bit, but they're fully engaging your entire muscle. And then pull it towards the inside, right? As you can see, so that doesn't hurt anyone. If you go up, it might pinch a little bit here. So all what I do then normally I grab that base layer and pull it out. That's the pinching. So pull it away and then wrap it around that arm. Again, we want enough compression, but especially my ladies, they always say, Max, I feel my veins and my hands turning into blue. That might be a little bit too much compression. Okay. So loosen up, find a middle way of like where we build good compression comfortably, but also like it doesn't slip down, of course. We don't want that in a power workout when we're a little bit more dynamic. But after 3 or 5 sessions, you are fully dialed in and should know your suit up, how it fits the best for you.
Perfect. Thank you, Max. And then
Of
one
course, of
plug
course.
while you're still kind of on the suit. I see a
Mm-hmm.
question from Mark, more about the fitting of the shorts and if it's too tight or being able to buckle it. I would just really encourage Mark, if you want to send a message to support at
Please,
katalyst.com. And that sounds
please.
like a perfect scenario where you hop on with one of our team members, have a one-on-one sizing fit session, and we can determine if you are outgrowing or you need a different size up or down. So please reach out and we'll take care of that.
And one more, that's perfect though. Yeah. One more comment for the short guys. So our thighs are more like a cone, right? So you might want to hire it a little bit more into your crotch, a little bit higher on your leg, and then tighten it if it feels a little bit too loose, maybe, or you just lost some weight and are successfully towards your journey, your fitness journey, or they're a little bit too tight from the beginning on. Like maybe lower it a little bit towards that knee, so it even can support that knee a little bit better for the quadriceps, so for the quad. So lower it a little bit on the thigh, so pull it all the way up, or center it a little bit lower. So because we have that cone shape of our thighs, try that out. If you get that Velcro closer to close, but enough compression is necessary, especially around the glutes. You feel a different sensation if you wrap that belt all the way around your hip bones, because we want the pads, those glute pads covering from the bottom, if that makes sense.
Perfect. Let me get you back in here.
Great. All right, guys. So it was a lot talking about the suit and how to get in there and the wetting process. But no worries. Again, of course, you get the entire recording here, but also in the app on the iPhone or iPad. If you just new and haven't started yet, you might see the first screen, like begin the suit setup. You will find Michael there talking slowly you into the first workout sensation, what to expect, where's the interface, the plus minus button, the duration, and the exercises and reps. But we also find that get ready guide before every single workout. So that's the second screen. So before you jump into a workout, of course, you should be already in your suit, ideally. But you can also find that get ready guide in there. And then if you want to prep your session for tomorrow and just sit on your desk or on the couch and want to sneak peek a little bit, you always have the option under more, all the way on the bottom right, under more, and then getting started. Just click on that and you'll find that last screen, step-by-step instructions by Michael from how to unbox it. I hope you got it already out of your box. And then, of course, every single step, how to pair your input pack, how to suit up ideally from the vest, shorts, and arm straps, and also, what to expect then afterwards. You can watch that over and over again on your iPhone or iPad. So feel free until you're a real master into getting into your suit and what feels the best for you. But again, water and compression is normally, the king when it comes down to prepping your suit. And suit longevity, I just hit a little bit on that. So loosen up those straps, guys. I know it might be a little bit annoying at the end of a session when you're exhausted and just want to get out of there, but you're prepping already the next session. You just jump in and then just loosen those side straps and the shoulder straps, the arm straps to make it easier, and then hang to dry it. So here in a scenario, just hang it and that's fine. Maybe keep that zipper open to let it breathe a little bit easier. And then I just showed you the little pro tip here. Of course, reveal those pads. I mean, inside out, especially when you're in travel and need to have it dried a little bit faster, just inside out. And then, coming to the base layer, big question. What can I wash? How should I wash it? So you found two pieces or two base layers in your package. The base layers you can wash with your normal laundry. Day in, day out, normal laundry, just put it in there, even in a dryer, that's totally fine, just the base layer. And you can also, that's a very innovative piece here in Katalyst 2, you can also wash your suit in the machine. Attention though, just cold wash only, light detergent, plus just a little bit, light detergent, and ideally in a mesh zip bag. So how we put some laundry into a mesh bag, separate the vest from the shorts, just zip it up, put it in one of those big mesh bags, light detergent, and then just cold wash only, no dryer, please. All right, because we still have some technology in there, but you can wash it in a machine. And how we handle the suit, how often do you wash it, Max? It's a good question. So every second to third month, and we're doing a lot of workouts. So because we are antibacterial anyways with the soft material and the pad material, so it doesn't really start to stink. You might see, if you're sweater like me, just on the zip line, on the zipper, you might see some salt lines, and then maybe it's time to give it a wash in the washing machine and just put it into a mesh bag and let it hang and dry. But we handle it more like a ski jacket or run jacket. So don't wash it too often if it's not necessary. But the base layer, you can put it into a washing machine and dryer whenever you need to. Yeah, that's pretty much it about the longevity of your suit. And guys, so it was a lot of points to hit here today. But again, if you really want to specify a specific topic you have questions about, please jump onto our YouTube channel. And we have specific pro tips for all those different things, from washing the suit and base layer, the training modes are explained, or the impulse pack battery levels. What does it mean at the status or the state of that? And also like exactly why doesn't, it's your suit doesn't cover the calves. All those are explained on the YouTube channels. And if you like that video, of course, give it a little like, as always. And then, you'll find more instruction and more guidance on the YouTube channel, and more are to come. And of course, yeah, as Val mentioned before, important guys, we are here for you, right? We want you to be successful. Reach out to support@katalyst.com. Super easy. Just send an email in with your problem or your question or troubleshooting. We're here for you, and you can always book a one-on-one session with our care team. So it's like almost a white glove onboarding, guys, or like a recap of like, I'm doing it since like 10 sessions, but I still don't know if my intensities are right, or the suit fit. I don't know about. Max said a lot of compression, but it's not there yet. So we can always jump on a video call with you, on a Zoom call, and then get more specific into your individual questions. And then the Katalyst chat, guys. We keep improving the Katalyst chat on our website. The little bubble you see on many websites. You can answer, you can question any question you have, like write it in there. And even when you have some international questions, guys, just mention it. If you have some international friends, me from Germany, my friends also have a couple questions. You can even put it into your language. All right, like German, whatever, Spanish, le français, all those, and the chatbot gives you a pretty accurate answer for all your questions, whatever it is. All right. And then content, guys, while you're hopefully coming always back into your suit, being motivated by our awesome trainers out there. Every Monday, we try to publish new workouts on new programs for you to find your specific workout and guide you through your entire journey and, of course, reaching your goals, guys. Every Monday, you will see something new. In the second row, what's new? So there's always popping something up. And then, of course, on the bottom, as you can see here, the first one is total body pump with Casey. And then next to it, you always see what kind of mode it is, the strength mode, power, cardio recovery, which level it is. Again, don't be scared about the levels. You can do it, trust me. And then, how long the duration is, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5-minute ones, if we talk about recovery or cardio modes. And then new series, guys. I want to announce, you might have seen it already the last couple of weeks. But Michael and myself did build resilient joints. So if you have some lower back issues or some hip issues, knee issues, shoulder issues, that's a beautiful thing. We can't say it more often. We don't have any strain on those joints, guys. No weight, no rubber band. We want you to find your trust back into your joints, right? If it's even a hip replacement or you're coming out of an injury, or you just had something with your shoulder going on, we just trigger that muscle tissue around it to give you a little more strength and mobility around that. That's the beautiful. You find all those in the Building Resilient Joints series. And then functional fitness. We have a beginner version with myself and then an advanced version where you make a little more complex exercises, such as the second picture here on what's new, where Michael is doing a single RDL. So we get a little more unbalanced and imbalanced to give you the best stability and strength for day in, day out life. And of course, some functional movements for some sports maybe. So jump in. It's a beautiful, quick workout and series and programming. And then guys, of course, we want to provide new faces to you. We are happily announcing, and you might have seen her already, Casey. She's a great trainer. She's already in the app, and just last week we recorded more workouts in Los Angeles with Moses. He's also a very experienced trainer, really fun to watch, and you will see him soon in the app. And of course, more trainers are to come, guys. Looking forward to it. Some questions and answers, guys. I hope I answered most of them so far, from the suit, how to use it, the app. But of course, I'm happy to answer anything further.
Okay, are you ready, Max? I'm going way back into the chat from when we started. I don't want to miss anyone's questions. So this one is from Zoo Alonso. I plan to use Katalyst twice a week, but the other days I was hoping to do weightlifting. Should I weightlift a day before or a day after doing Katalyst?
That's a good question. So weightlifting, it depends also what kind of workouts are you doing. Are you doing max lifting, right? Or you're hitting a PR? So as we always saying, especially Mike and myself in the workout, keep enough rest time between. So dialed in, and also you can modify your specific intensities per muscle group too, right? If you really have specific goals, like, I don't know, some deadlift and you're hitting, the bar in the gym heavy yesterday. So maybe you reduce the intensity on your legs a little bit. Do not over torture your legs to recover well, to actually reach your goals of getting stronger or gaining some more muscle tissue. That's very important. That's what I recommend. But especially like a power mode, if you want to lift heavier and more, the power mode will be your friend, because especially those fast twitch muscle fibers are really hard to trigger. That either way needs a high threshold of weight or resistance or very explosive movement. So both of those components are causing a high risk of injuries normally. When you have those track and fielders running on the track with a parachute in the back or like lifting heavy to reach those fast twitch muscle fibers to get faster or stronger. So that would be your friend to maybe gain a little more weight on the bar, not on the body, to help you to reach your goals. I hope that answered it well.
Thank you, Max. Then a question early on too from Paul. What is exactly the recommendation for what to do after I complete the first 6-week training program? I assume I shouldn't just pick one workout and do it over and over again, or should I just choose random ones? Maybe speak to a little bit like you completed your 6-week first program. Now what?
Yep. Yep. For sure. For sure. So the programs and the series that we have out there, if it's a resilient joint one, like specifically on the knees, and you really want to get stronger around your knees, or for your sports or lower back issues, we might have all of us from sitting and standing too often. But find your specific workouts out there. So we want to provide you the entire menu, almost like in a restaurant, right? There's a 3 or 6 course menu. We highly recommend what our favorites are, and when you're first sitting down, what we highly recommend. But of course, there's always a big menu of beautiful, spicier and less spicy dishes out there for you. Speaking about a workout, so choose your specific ones. If you really want to focus on the lower body ones, so like a booty burner with Isabel, for example. So we are always a full body workout, right? Don't get tricked here. So we're always a full body workout. That means it's just specifically or specific exercises for those muscle groups if you really want to focus on those. In the lower body example, we're still firing the vest, still firing the arms, but that will be then perfect for you. And we're also coming up with more programs about the posture and different scenarios, such a lower body, for example, and shoulder scenarios. So feel guided by our 2-week beginner program. Just jump in there. If you feel like, oh, I was pretty good already after those 6 weeks, I got it, and the power workouts were fun, maybe jump into an advanced version of our intro sessions. Or the functional fitness ones are beautiful, so a little challenging in the exercises, but you can do it again. Just jump in those series and finish those 2 to 4 weeks. And then afterwards, pick your favorite. That's also important to mention, guys. If you click on specific workout, you will see a download button and a highlight button, like a star for build your favorites. But you don't have to search all the way. On the bottom, you will see your workouts, and then you will always find your library, your specific favorites with the instructor or the mode or the specific workout. You'll find those in there. And the download ones, I was talking a lot about traveling myself, and we know how great or not the Wi-Fi in a hotel is. So feel free to download your favorite workouts at home with your iPad or iPhone, that you're totally independent on the road, or even work out outside. That's what I'm doing sometimes on the patio or somewhere, that you not rely on Wi-Fi. Also very important point to mention here. You can download your workouts.
Thank you. Awesome. One more from earlier in the session from Hannah. What is a good way to gauge when to increase the impulses and the kind of intensity settings? Maybe to speak to that a little bit again, because that's such an important part of getting the most out of your suit, right?
Overall, like we're talking specifically in a workout, or like overall, like on the fitness journey?
Yeah, like
Both?
when do you feel like you can push yourself a little bit more? When is it like, okay, I probably could increase a little bit more intensity, like maybe some feelings or certain kind of 100%. Parameters that you can share? Yeah.
As I mentioned before, like how we're creating resistance, right? And with no weights and no rubber bands, especially in the strength and power mode, guys. We want that resistance feeling. That means like if we're doing those 2 strong bench presses, for example, how fast could you really move? Of course, the sensation is new to you, but does it really trigger you, and does it really resist you? So that means you feel that muscle resistance against that. So if you feel like, well, that's what we talk about a lot in the workouts, like, oh, those arms, I could actually do like 4 bicep curls. That's a good indicator of you having 2 less weight on you. It's almost like you're jumping into the gym for the first time and you have a rack of dumbbells. That's how I always explain the range of our intensity. And you're starting with 0.5 pounds at the beginning. It's like, ah, that's cute. And maybe afterwards you're grabbing those 50 pounds and you're barely making one repetition, right? So that means something between that it gives you enough resistance. And it's always want to challenge you, right? That's why we have more the bigger muscle groups at the end of those 20-minute workouts. So that it's easier, like such quads, or abs, and some squats. And over time, you're ramping you up. But if you feel like, okay, I'm getting less sore, or this soreness is a good indicator, it's not a must to actually reach your fitness goals. So it's a good indicator that you have a very efficient workout. So go up there and then a pretty even sensation, right? You feel like, oh my God, my glutes were really sore and I was not even able to sit down after more workout the day after. That's a good indicator, not a must though. But the other workout, for example, I don't feel much in my abs or my arms or my lats, that means middle back. Over time, fine tune more often, okay? That we have a really even sensation over time. And then you also will find trust in your body. It's like, oh, actually, it can take a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. And then also decrease, right? From once in a while. If you have a big event coming up or something like a run or like a tournament or something, maybe keep it a little bit easier today. And that's also fun. Of course, we always encourage you guys, increase and challenge yourself, but it should fit, of course, into your life, guys. So over time, you're getting used to it almost if you would do with weight.
Nice. Also, I just want to say thank you for staying on. We're going to keep covering the questions and stay a little bit longer because this is exactly why we're doing the webinars. So keep them coming. There was a question earlier too from Kun. How many calories do you burn during a session? Understanding that power and strength are different and whatnot. And this is a very common question, so I think it comes up really frequently. So if you can
For
address that
sure.
and kind of speak to that.
For sure, guys. So like all us handcuffed, like with an Aura ring or Whoop or Apple Watch or Fitbit, whatever you're doing. So all of those taking just let me start it on that side of that story. They're just covering the heart rate. So if that question is originating on that, so that you're not seeing like a crazy amount of burned calories after an intense 20 minutes of a strength workout, because they're very static moving, right? That means the heart rate is not coming up so fast or so much. But the muscle recruitment, we're engaging almost up to 90% of the muscle fibers in one muscle. So compared to conventional training, if you never heard about it, it's around like 50 to 60%. So we almost double the recruitment of muscle fibers. And don't forget, in all major muscle groups in the entire body. And that's why we burn so much more during a 20-minute workout. And it also shrinks down the time because all major muscle groups are engaged and more muscle fibers are recruited in one workout. That means the study showed something between 300 to 600 calories after a 20-minute workout. So, but again, the intensity has to be up there and be consistent that you actually are able to do that. And then with the cardio mode, even easier because those guys can reach it, right? Can read that with the heart rate. As I just mentioned earlier, use your Apple Watch, for example, on your iPhone. And if you want to stick in a specific zone, like zone 2, zone 3, whatever you want to reach in your stamina and endurance journey, of course, you will see like a huge increase on the calorie burn as well if you following one of our cardio classes, or combine your suit in the cardio mode and a freestyle one with your at-home device, such a treadmill, a walk on there, or like a rowing machine or a spinning bike. So you can even combine the Katalyst suit with that device.
Lovely. Then another question.
Please.
What is the catalyst equivalent to training to failure, dialing the intensity to failure? And maybe that speaks a little better to you as a trainer, but can you max it out at a ceiling? Can you somehow, can anything happen with intensity that it disconnects or fails, maybe in general, sort of like
so read that question again.
see.
So is it about failure of the muscle? So if we can reach that, or is it the fear of maxing out the device? That means I can't go higher than 480.
Maybe we can speak to, and Juan, this is your question. And if we don't, the former. Okay, so the first one,
Okay.
the first you said, yeah.
Failure of the muscle. Sure, for sure.
Yes.
As I just mentioned, like we have a full body workout. Sure, that's number one. But secondly, we're recruiting more muscle fibers, guys. If the intensity is up there, and you're dialed in perfectly. So you can control, very important, what is enough intensity. I still want you able to be moving, right? Like you should be still able to do a bicep curl, even when it's really, really challenging and hard, but not fully locking out. This will be almost like I give you too heavy of a barbell or dumbbell in your hand and you're not even able to lift that. So where's the sense in that, right? But like as high as you can go, where you can, if you really, if that's your goal of like maxing out your capacity and like really make your muscle tired. So that's a good indicator of like you should be still always able to move. Be aware though, if you're hitting that in the first 5 to 10 minutes, we always challenge you. That means we're increasing intensity over time. You might want to unfollow the trainer that you can stick and fully individualize your intensities and increase by yourself on your own needs if you really want to do that specific workout of like muscle failure. But yeah, you should be able to stay in a position, be able to move and control yourself. But that's the same thing in the gym. I hope that helps.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, it sounds like it. But if any more question on that topic, just pop
Please,
them in the chat.
for sure.
Then there was a question from JN.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Is there any risk of rhabdo as long as sticking to the 20-minute workup protocol, even at any tolerable intensity? A little bit of a tricky question, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can speak to it.
So rhabdo, for those people where they don't know what it is, it's a fully a failure of like breakdown of muscle cells. So and that could harm some kidney issues down the road. Rhabdo is not an EMS training thing because it's out there a lot, even on the websites everywhere. But rhabdo is an indicator for overtraining. How you overtrain? If you run too many marathons or you're lifting too heavy, you go hitting the gym too often, this could cause muscle failure, like that bad side of the muscle failure, and then into kidney harming the kidney for long term. So that's why we're always preaching. We have such an intense workout. 20 minutes is equivalent to almost an hour to 2 hours in the gym, meaning by the big topic here we always mention is TUT. What does it stand for? Time under tension. That means in the gym when you're doing a bicep curl, how long are you actually under tension with that bicep, right? So we're doing 15 reps, 3 sets. So you need 10 minutes just for your arms as an example, or 5 minutes. So now we're engaging all major muscle groups at once and deeper muscle tissue. Never forget that. And that's why we can shrink down those intense workouts down to 20 minutes. But keep enough rest time between those strength and power workouts, guys. It's very important. 2, 3, or 4 days. And maybe at the beginning, when you're just early on here and a rookie with Katalyst, but hitting it pretty good and hard at the beginning, like challenging workouts, maybe once a week, if you're still sore on Saturday, Sunday, this is fine. Jump into a cardio mode, jump into a recovery mode, stay hydrated, right? Get your magnesium in, your electrolytes to recover well. And of course, eating nutrition is another part of that to recover well. But rhabdo is a general thing of overtraining. So, I highly don't recommend to do those very intense 20-minute workouts every day. All right. So you can get the most out of it in the suit with all the different modes. You can be in the suit 7 days a week, but just wisely choose your workout and the intensity.
Oh my gosh, perfect. Thank you for speaking today. I think that was a great one to bring up. And
Of course.
our team has been in the chat and
Mm-hmm.
monitoring, and I really think and hope that we've answered all questions. I saw one come in now, so I'm kind of reading it as I go. Well, very sweet. Hi, Christopher. Thank you to all of the trainers. You have no idea how much those stay with me and you can do it comments mean we're in the middle of those super tough workouts. Love that.
Awesome.
It's
Glad to hear that,
crazy.
Christopher. Thank you. We try. We suffer with you. That's a beautiful thing. Don't believe us, guys. When we touching our iPad on our end,
Mhm.
it's kicking in too. It's kicking in too. So we love suffering together.
That's so sweet, Christopher. And yeah, very exciting to hear. It's crazy. So it continues, and I just have to read it out loud because you trainers have to hear it. It's crazy how much you guys almost make you feel like a family because we spend so much time together each week. Just know that you're making a difference in a lot of people's lives. We appreciate you. So
That's just
that's
awesome.
music to our ears.
That's awesome, guys. I hope you'll never get that family where you start muting us and don't are not able to listen to us anymore. So let's stay together, family. Love to hear that, guys. That's awesome. Thank you
So a
so much for
few
that feedback.
more. We'll start wrapping here, and just kind of monitor if any more questions come in. But Max,
Hmm.
I'll let you sort of finish us off here.
Perfect. Guys, first of all, thank you so much for joining and listening to me here. I hope it helped a little bit. But if you want to know more in general about the big field of full body MS training and of course of Catalyst, for example, also want to get to know our CEO Björn Woltermann. So we have a full podcast series out there on YouTube where we changed already a couple lives. We're really proud of. We're talking about with one doctor about the menopause for ladies and some posture and some after cancer survivors. We are not claiming that we can't. We are a fitness device, but those people speak to itself. How much it helped them to really come back on track, or even like for their performance. We have also some golfers out there and some long drivers, how their speed improved. So there are different podcasts out there with our CEO, and then you can dive way deeper into full body MS and how it works and how it all started with Catalyst. If you are 100% a fan of Catalyst, so jump in those and give us a little like and to listen to those. And guys, of course, as all the others, we are also in all different channels. Please follow us for more fun and more education on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, whatever your channel is, guys. Give us a follow. Give us some like. You can even ask us questions in there, right? Message us if you have any concerns, troubleshooting, the great feedback. For example, like Christopher today. We love to hear that. Give us feedback or what you wish to see, right? Hey guys, I want a specific skiing program, or that's all coming soon, of course. But all those specific ones, guys, reach out to us. We love to hear from you and how we can make it even better for you and with you together. And give us a little follow. And there's more fun to come and more education for you. Yeah, thanks,
And
guys. Again, have a beautiful day. Thanks, Val, for moderating here. Again, thanks, team. Thanks, Josie, Isabel, and Michael for responding towards all the questions and from all the experts at Catalyst. That was very helpful. And yeah, guys, we are here again one more time. Support at catalyst.com, or just jump into the chat bot on our website. We are mostly answering all those questions there too. And then see you on the other side in the app, guys.
thank you for all the survey feedback. It was amazing to see how you guys use it, the feedback, how often. I saw so many people over 50 workouts already in. So
That's awesome.
really great to see. Yeah.
Big
Thanks,
experts.
everybody.
Awesome,
Yeah.
guys. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much. See ya.
Bye.